Okay, so in this fourth module of our postural restoration course, we're going to be focusing on an area of the body that I feel that most people are not thinking about when trying to fix or correct posture problems. And what I'm referring to are problems related to breathing mechanics and also the overall function of a very important but often overlooked muscle known as your diaphragm. Now, I get that most people are not going to automatically associate, your breathing mechanics with something like your posture and your ability to stay upright. But we also need to keep in mind that this mid-back/thoracic area that we've been focusing all of our efforts on thus far is not just the area where all of our postural stabilizers muscles are going to come from, but it's also the area where our ribs are going to attach onto as well. And the ribs are obviously there to be able to help protect and safeguard our lungs and also our heart, which are essential for the ability for us to survive. Not only that, all the muscles that are responsible for our breathing mechanics, namely our diaphragm and also the intercostal muscles, which are the muscles that sit between your ribs, are the muscles that are solely responsible for helping us inspire oxygen, which is what helps us stay alive. And like everything else we've talked about thus far in this program, when people are stuck in this slumped or slouched posturing position, and it is going to make it almost impossible for these muscles to be able to perform their job the way that they need to, which is also going to negatively affect your breathing mechanics. And this is what could actually be the driving force behind why some of your muscles might feel so tight or so tired all the time. And this is what could also just making you feel tight and tired and fatigued in general as well. However, by learning how to fix some of these breathing mechanics, this will not only help improve upon your posture, but also potentially help you feel less tired, have less brain fog, and also just have better energy, and again, just help you overall feel better about the way that your body feels. So what we're going to do in this module is to help you understand some of these basic breathing mechanics, again, at the most basic and fundamental level. And from there, we'll provide you some simple self-assessments so that you can see how problematic your breathing problems might actually be, and then share with you a couple of very simple ways to help you fix some of these breathing patterns to be able to help you fix and correct your posture as well. All right, so in Module 4, we first want to start by giving you a brief demonstration of proper breathing mechanics, right? So again, breathing mechanics are a very important part of posture, but I find that a lot of people who are struggling with poor posture are also struggling with the ability to breathe through the adequate musculature, right? So the first thing I want to do is just to give you an assessment to see how well the correct muscles are breathing. So we go and start by putting one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. And then from there, just try to take a couple of breath cycles just to kind of see what your hands do, right? Now, the muscle known as the diaphragm is a muscle that's going to attach on the bottom of your ribs. And when this muscle is functioning appropriately, what you should see here, what Twee's doing, what she's demonstrating, is the fact that she's taking what's known as a belly breath. So when you take a belly breath, what's essentially going to happen is the ribs are essentially going to be pulled downwards because the diaphragm is functioning appropriately. And this is going to ensure that she's going to get the most efficient flow of oxygen because the correct muscles are doing their job. Right? Now, for a lot of people who have a lot of weakness or who have a lot of inhibition of the diaphragm muscle, when they start to breathe, go and show the chest breath, is they'll actually start to breathe looking like so, right? So again, the hand on her stomach isn't moving much. We start to see a lot more motion, a lot more expansion of her chest noticed by how much her hand is actually moving. And the reason why this can be problematic is the fact that she is overly relying upon her neck muscles and her chest muscles to breathe instead of that diaphragm muscle, which is the more efficient muscle. And why this can be problematic over time is the fact that she's going to generate a lot more activation, a lot more overuse of the muscles of her shoulder up through here, which can be contributing to why those muscles on top of her shoulder feel so tight and so tired throughout the course of the day. Right, so we go and demonstrate the belly breath again. Instead, we want to make sure that as you breathe, to make sure that you're getting good diaphragm function, that it's the hand on your stomach is the one that should be moving the most, and the hand on your chest should be staying relatively still. Right? So if you find yourself through this assessment that you are more of a chest breather instead of a belly breather, then let's show you one of our favorite ways to help you be able to fix and correct that pattern so that you can start to breathe more efficiently over time as well. All right, so if you found in your assessment that you're more of a chest breather instead of a belly breather, then we want to make sure that you learn how to adequately use your diaphragm muscle because it's going to give you a much more effective and efficient breath, right? So same thing as we did in the testing position. So Tweet, go and put one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. All right, so you want to just start by laying on your back, and as you breathe in, you want to try to make the hand on your stomach try to elevate up towards the ceiling, and try to keep the hand on your chest as flat as possible. Right, so you go and just put your hand on your belly button. All right, so again, as you can see here, as she's taking a nice deep breath in, the hand on her stomach is elevating up, and as you breathe out, try to push all the air out of your lungs. Right, breathe out, go and push it out like so. Perfect. Let's practice that a couple more times. In, out, and one more. All right, go and show a couple of chest breaths. Now, a lot of people, when they do this, especially if they're more biased to being a chest breather, you're going to see a lot of this type of pattern where the hand on your chest is starting to elevate a lot, and you actually might not feel a lot of motion happening through your stomach, and that's okay, and that's what we expect. So as you start to practice this, once you become aware of it, just try to shift your attention and your focus and trying to see if you can get the hand on your stomach to elevate as you take a deep breath in. So go and demonstrate it properly again. Right, and just try to keep the hand on your chest as still as possible. Right. Now, for a lot of people, this might be frustrating in the beginning, but I assure you, with a little bit of practice, with a little bit of time and patience, then you will start to be able to reverse some of those patterns. And again, this will start to help you become a much more effective and efficient breather, which will again help you address some of your posture problems as well. All right. So that's it for the diaphragmatic breathing exercise. So let's show you the next demonstration next. All right, so the next thing you want to do is actually just have you go back into the testing position because what you realize is that it's much easier to train the diaphragm while lying down, and it's much more difficult to do while sitting up, all right? So once you've kind of mastered how to do the belly breath while lying down, then we want to make sure that you are able to transition to be able to use those same muscles in a seating position, all right? So Tweet, go ahead, one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach. So same type of thing. Just try to, as you take a deep breath in, try to get the hand on your stomach to really start to push out and to try to keep the hand on your chest as still as possible, all right? And again, this is going to be a little tricky, especially in the beginning if you've never practiced this before, but with time, with practice, and with patience, you should be able to do so, all right? So Tweet, go and demonstrate the chest breath. But again, if you start to feel you're elevating a lot through your chest, then just try to just take note of that. Try not to get too frustrated, and just try to shift your energy and your focus. Go back in towards the belly breath like so. All right, and over time, as you start to develop the ability to control your breathing pattern, this will help ensure that you have proper diaphragm function, which again will help you develop better posture, and also help you reduce a lot of the unnecessary tightness or overuse of those kind of top of the shoulder or upper chest muscles, which could be, for a lot of people, what could be contributing to poor posture, and what could also be contributing to just kind of constant or chronic tightness or achiness within those muscles over time. All right, so that's it for the breathing module. So let's get into the last module for today.